So with Sting officially now retired from WWE and from pro wrestling in general, fans have cried foul. Some are in the denial that Sting's, he's going to pull Swerve and interfere in the Hell in a Cell match at WrestleMania. Oh, he's going to do this. Oh, he's really doing this. And everyone is just saying, oh, why didn't we get Sting versus The Undertaker? Here is what my honest opinion about that match is. I didn't want to see it. It's not the fact that I don't think the match was great, would be a dream-worthy match. I honestly think that is a dream-worthy match. Here's the face of WCW taking on the face of WWE. This is the ultimate dream match scenario. This is the icon of WCW versus the phenom of WWE, and they had very similar characters, yet they were so completely different. And yet, here's the problem. This is a match fans had anticipated to see for the last 20 years after WCW went under. Now, if Undertaker and Sting were still in their prime, then yeah, the match could be great. But since Sting and Undertaker are no longer in their physical prime and their matches have mostly had to rely on younger superstars to help get something out of it, to bring out the best in them, and Sting and Undertaker's age is also a factor, how can they ever live up to that kind of hype? I'm like, it's different with Sting and Triple H because while people wish that match would happen at pay per view, they didn't want it at WrestleMania. So when they saw it, they were like, "Oh, that match was great, but it was a little overbooked." But but with Sting and Undertaker, everyone just wants a straight up one-on-one fight, and yet, how can they ever live up to that kind of hype? Because either way, someone's going to be disappointed by it because they said they dreamed of this match. They had so many scenarios in their head. And, I was thinking, how can they ever live up to that kind of hype? That's next to impossible, in my view. So, what could have been done to appease the Dream fans and yet not do the match. Just do an iconic stare down. Like Undertaker, Sting in one ring, they stare each other down and they shake hands to rectify that, yeah, the WCW, the WWE bad blood, it's not really there anymore. Even though people will still say, oh, well, that happened with Triple H and Sting, so there's still some bit of resentment. But Undertaker, he was more about business. Sting, he's more about business. So there's a really money making thing. Like, people would have paid just to see a stare down. Like, I would have been alright with a stare down. Like, maybe the night after WrestleMania 31, when Sting was getting that promo after Raw, everyone had hoped, oh, Undertaker's going to show up there. And sadly, he didn't. Like, they could have done an iconic stare down in front of a post WrestleMania crowd. And that's where I felt like the show could have ended there. Like Undertaker and Sting, they stare each other down, then the lights go out, and you see nothing but the urn of the Undertaker and the baseball bat of Sting to signify they're gone. And there's a chance they're not going to come back. Like, this is what fans had dreamed up of for 20 years. And Sting spent most of his prime and final years in TNA and then joined the WWE when he was no longer in his prime. And then Undertaker was no longer in his prime. Like, he could still do some good matches, but he had to rely on younger talent than people around his age. Well, except for Shawn Michaels, and if Mr. Perfect was still around, maybe him. Rest in peace, Kurt Hennig. But that's all I asked for was a Sting and Undertaker stare down and mutual respect afterwards. Like, that's all I ever wanted from them. I didn't care about a dream match. I didn't care about them getting in the ring and fighting because I knew, how can they ever live up to this kind of hype? Like, 20 years. Everyone's been saying, Sting, Undertaker, go at it. And I know, and I know people had always thought of all these scenarios in their head of how this would go. And I'm thinking, how can they do that? How can they ever live up to this hype? So those are my thoughts on Sting versus Undertaker Dream Match. This was Near Reality Entertainment. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and donate. Stay tuned for more.